Okay, folks, just get yourselves a coffee. Well, I'm going to get one anyway. And we will kick it off very soon. Just listening in to Mnuchin here. He's the US Treasury Secretary. He's talking oil to $30. Is he talking his own book? We'll talk about that later. Just get yourself settled. We'll be on very soon. Okay, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon, of course, depending on where you are. There's the camera. Gosh, the camera's all over the place. Good to see you in the room. Hopefully you are well. Just get myself a bit of alcohol. Not to drink, of course, but I'll wash the old hands, wash the screens and so forth. Great stuff, this. Got this in the Philippines. Didn't know at the time. My wife from the Philippines, and we stacked up on this when we go over there. It's cost about 30 pence now, about 40 cents in dollars. 64 pesos, there you go, 64 pesos. it cost. I can sell this for more than oil now. This is worth more than oil. You know, this little bottle of moisturiser alcohol. Right, hopefully we are coming through okay. If someone can give me a bit of a thumbs up. This is a live YouTube event, and because of the technicals of YouTube, I shouldn't be swishing that around, should I? Because of the technicals of YouTube, we are sort of running at about a 20-second delay. So if you can just let me know that I'm coming through okay, and that you can hear me okay. Charles Lee says it's 9:30 in Hong Kong, which means he must be coming. It must be coming through okay. Must be coming through. There we are. So, all right, here we go. South Africa here. Good afternoon. Menzip Rocky Wook. I'm from the Philippines. Kamusta ka to you, if you were in the Philippines. Kamusta ka. Magandang hapon here. Magandang gabi over there, I guess. Magandang gabi. Hopefully you are well. Good evening to you. Good evening, Christina Leoa. Hi, hello, my friend Andrew says Jose, Louise. Hello, Louise, and so forth. Early hello from Indonesia. I love Indonesia. I've got a villa in. I used to live in Singapore, so I used to go to Indonesia every other weekend, play golf in Bintan. Is it Bintan? I used to love that. But I've also got a villa in Thailand, down in southern Thailand, in Phuket actually. Was just about to go there about a month ago, but I had to cancel that flight, obviously because of the lockdown that we're seeing all over the world. And I'm fighting. I mean, I don't want to be here talking about airlines, but I'm fighting now to get my flights back from the airline. I was travelling, what airline was it? It was British Airways actually. British Airways, business class flights, talking a few grand, and I can't get my money back. Dreadful what's going on at the moment. Hi, hopefully you're all doing well in this lockdown. Just chatting to my girl here behind the scenes. She tells me that Singapore is now locking down until June. And I'm also hearing on the Squawk coming out as we speak that Trump's tweeting at the moment. Let's have a look. I saw he was tweeting earlier about opening up America. America is finally opening up. I'm not an epidemiologist. I can't even say the word. But I mean, are we not opening up too soon? I mean, we're reaching the peak because everyone's staying at home. I mean, what happens when everyone starts going back? Now, another thing they're talking about, I don't know if anyone knows about this. Maybe they can tell me about it. If you know more about it than I do. I'm sure most people do actually. But look at this number. It's called the R number. Right? The R number is basically the number of people you infect. If you infect with, if you have it, and they want to get that R number below 1, naturally so, yeah. And the R numbers are coming down below 1 because everyone's staying at home. Well, what's going to happen when everyone starts going out again? When they haven't got a vaccine, they haven't got a cure. The R numbers naturally will go up again. You start infecting more people, and also another thing to think about on that note, I've got just where I live here now. I've got a big, quite a big property here, but I've got neighbours over that side. There's an elderly couple over there. They've both had it and got over it. Bloke over there, he's had it. My sister has had it, and none of these have been registered with the hospitals or the authorities or the numbers. So how do we really know how many people we're infecting anyway? I think it's all a little bit. It's all uncharted territory for everyone, but I do think it's a little bit of a. It's a little bit, a bit of a wish-wash in terms of the numbers and opening up too soon. I mean, the second peak apparently, or the second wave, is going to be could be more dangerous than the first. We're all in lockdown. You in lockdown? How's the lockdown going for you guys? Normally we got Max on here to bounce the ideas off. Max's hair is getting longer and longer, but Max is not doing well with the lockdown. He's going to look like a little hippie by the time it's all over. Hi from Hungary. San Diego, it's 6:34, San Diego in the morning. Delighted, Craig, you got up at 6:34 in the morning to listen to me. I'm absolutely overwhelmed by that. Thank you for that. Nigeria is here. Good vote from Nigeria. We got a couple of votes in from 3 votes in from Nigeria. Well done. Thanks for that. Good to have you folks in there. And going crazy thought it'd be funny as well. My daughters are doing piano lessons remotely. It costs more than $20, I'll tell you, for half an hour I think he's doing it remotely on Zoom. I think comes in and does it with looks at the keyboards, and he's about $40 an hour he charges for his piano lessons. But there you are. But obviously we can't have that going on the site, so someone can deal with that. Homeschooling is killing me. Lionel, I don't know. My kids go to reasonably good schools, but I'm pretty impressed with the way they're doing it, to be honest. My daughters are 15, 12 and 10. And the 10's still at primary school, we call it here. And they're all in here now. They've all got they've all got their own laptops and all that stuff. I can't hear a word out of them. They're sitting there and the lessons start at the usual time, and they change lessons at the same time. They have break time at the same time. They have lunch break at the same time. The house is never as quiet. They're all homeschooling. I mean, I think they can get quite used to this. And in fact, the primary school girl, the 10-year-old, they're going to be starting this week, I think, Zoom conferencing. So the teacher will be there at the front of the classroom on the whiteboard or whatever they have, teaching. Maybe I should get on and do that as well. I don't know. But homeschooling is doing all right, and especially this weather as well. The weather is beautiful here today in London, 20 degrees or so. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk briefly a little bit about the markets and what's been happening to the markets really since coronavirus sort of kicked in. And then we're going to be, I'll just talk a little bit about that. I want to mention a bit about the oil markets as well, because now everyone is an oil analyst, right? We all know now why oil went into negative territory. We're all analysts in oil now. Wonderful. Met so many in the last 24 hours. Smashing. Ooh, that's the corona. We'll talk about the markets, how they've been affected. And then I am going to just jump on to the screens and do hopefully a bit of live trading. Okay, following a very simple trend following strategy. You may have seen it in some of my YouTube videos, where we've highlighted certain rules of this strategy. This is a slight adaptation of it, but the principles, basically are the same. With trend following, all we're trying to do is capture a bit of the trend. We're not trying to pick the bottom. We're not trying to pick the top. We just want to get a little bit of chunk out of the middle. And as we know, trends never go in a straight line, either up or down. They always have their pullbacks along the way. So this strategy that I'm going to talk to you today about a little bit will basically help you decide or give you a higher probability of when you see a pullback that it is a pullback in the direction of the predominant trend. Because some pullbacks naturally end up as reversals. We never know when it's pulling back whether it is a reversal. I've just taken a pound short in longer term and the Aussie pound against the Australian dollar short. I don't know if that's a pullback that the pound's having, or whether indeed it's just whether it's a pullback or whether it's a reversal. I don't know. Obviously, I hope the pound's going to continue lower. So I've sold pound and bought Australian dollar on a higher time frame, but we won't be talking about that too much today. We'll be looking at the lower time frames because obviously I'm only going to be on for 30-40 minutes or so. So we'll drill down to the 5-minute time frame, 15 minutes. So if you take any potential trades, if any present themselves. If you are going to be following any of these trades, do it on a demo account. Look at the rules, see if they work for you. Go maybe do some back testing. I am not the holy grail that you may have been looking for in the past. Every trader you may speak to out there, they've all got their different styles. My style works for me. It may not work for you. The trades I might take today. Might hit a couple of winners, might hit a couple of losers. But if you've watched any of my videos here on the channel, you will know, one of my favourite videos that I put out there is the law of large numbers. The strategy's got to work over a large number of trades, not just the one trade. I get it all the time, and I take a trade. So I might put a trade that I'm taking, and it goes against me. You wouldn't believe the amount of negative criticism I will get because the trade went against me. Gosh, you're supposed to know what's going on in the world. Yeah, but I don't have a crystal ball. Actually, I do have a crystal ball, but I've got it on Amazon for $20. It doesn't work. And of course, when the trades go for me, everyone thinks I'm a genius. Gosh, this is the holy grail. If you are trading these today, trade it very small risk and maybe learn from it more than anything. Right, okay, so rather than me sticking here with my back to the camera, I'm just going to span around and have a look at what's going on in the charts. See what is going on, and with that I will switch those cameras off as well, so you can see me there.
On the oil markets here, US crude futures extending gains. The June contract now up $3 a barrel.
Right, June.
Brent up at session highs as well. Brent crude futures approaching $22 a barrel.
Okay, so everyone's piling into oil. Great, because Mnuchin's just been out there saying he thinks it will hit $30 by the end of August. That's 2020. That's a 50%. Well, it's trading 20 to 30. That would be a 50% increase in oil prices from these levels. Wow, what a bold call. I like your trading style. Andrew says, Augie, 1987. Are you 33 years old by any chance? I want info about 97 package daily signals. We're not a daily signal service, Hikmet. $97. No, it's not a daily signal service. We stream live around the clock here at Forex Signals. We're streaming, throughout the 24 hours. Mark's out in Australia. He's streaming the Australian session. A very experienced technical trader. And obviously we're streaming throughout the UK and European sessions as well, and the US sessions as well. Looking for trading opportunities. My colleague Max is normally on this stream today, but he's taking it easy out in that lovely sun. There you are. Right. Just before I look at the screens, I just want to have a look at some of these chats before I miss them, because there's been pretty nice flow of comments coming through. Everyone is an oil analyst, Samuel. You should know that. What moving averages do you use? Omar, you'll answer that question. I'm not going to go through. Okay. In my longer term daily trend following strategy, I like to use a medium, a fast, and a slow moving average. But what I use really isn't that important. Mine are actually the 10, the 20, and the 40. And they are EMAs. People say EMAs or SMAs. For those that don't know what that means, are they exponential, in which case they give more relevance to the most recent data, or are they smooth? Are they simple, which basically is a simple average calculation that everyone did at school? I hope you did it at school. But basically, I use these on the higher time frame to give me an indication of where the trend is going. If they're nicely fanned out, I like that. But the strategy I'm going to talk to you today about uses it's known as a guppy array of moving averages. It's a whole band of moving averages. You'll see on the charts when we get into it in a moment. So, as you know, the coronavirus, Covid-19, has been having a massive effect on everyone's lives all across the planet. I've got students that I talk to on a daily basis from everywhere, from Asia. I've got people in the room at the moment from Somalia, Nigeria as well. They're pretty much everywhere you look on the planet. We've all been affected by this coronavirus and the lockdowns. Businesses, as you know, around the world have been closed. Schools have been shut. Everything has come to a grinding halt. And that's naturally affecting many, many businesses. It's also affecting the oil price. And I am an oil analyst now. Remember, I know all about oil now. You know, I've read about the capacity. Read all about that. So markets across the globe have all basically been heavily sold off. So basically, where do you think we're going to go from it? I just want to point out something to you. Let me just put up this screen. This might make it a little bit clearer for you to see what I am talking about. Right, this is a chart. I actually got my daughter to put this chart together. I gave her the details, and she's a wizard on whatever this is. What is it? Excel. Yep. And she put this little graph together for me, or graph, as some of you may call it. It basically tells you the S&P 500 bear markets and recoveries. Right? Now, a bear market, let me backtrack. Bears basically is something that's going down, negative. A bullish, common English expression for something that's going up in price. A bull market is a market that's moving up. A bear market is a market that is moving down. Right? Now, this chart shows you the recent bear market corrections in the last 50 years. Pretty much, I had to draw it back somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th we've had in basically since I've been on the planet. There were more before. It's 1929. Clearly I wasn't on the planet in 1929. In fact, neither of my parents were on the planet in 1929 either. But this graph shows me the bear market corrections that we've seen, bear market reversals we've seen in the last 5 decades. A bear market is defined as a market that has a swing of 20% from its high to its low, to a subsequent low. What's interesting to note here is that every bear market correction, every bear market move that we've had in the last 5 decades, we've all seen a new high at some point. You look at January 1973, the market pulled back 45%. I think that was, well, I know exactly what it was. That was the Bretton Woods and the Nixon scandal. So the stock market dropped 45% in 1973. I was basically in primary school, the first year of primary school. And the market dropped 45%. I don't remember my father talking about it. Well, he wouldn't have done really. He was not really into it. And it lasted for 21 months, that bear market. Quite a long time. Yeah. It took 69 months to get back to pre-bear market crashes levels. Yep. 69 months. What's that? 6 years is 6 12s. 5 years is 16, 5.5 years. Yeah. 6 years. 6 years to get back to where it was prior to the crash. August 87. Now I do remember August 87. August 87. I was in the city. I was a nobody. I was working. I think I was working for a firm of. I was working for a firm of stock. I was working for a firm of stock jobbers. Basically, we made the markets in UK government bonds and so forth. Gilt stockbroker jobber I was. I remember that at the time. I do remember making it into the office that day before we went down onto the floor of the stock exchange. And I remember selling I had some shares in Guinness of all things. The Guinness, the alcohol beverage. I wanted to sell those shares before the markets opened, basically, so I could. My first technical call was to buy a car. I sold my Guinness shares at the tender age of 20 to go and buy a car on the weekend. Thankfully, because about a couple of hours later, the stock market crashed 34%. So it was one of my best calls I've ever made, selling my Guinness shares at that time. Stock market dropped 34%, and the bear market lasted for 4 months. 4 months for that to be in a bear market state. And then it took just 20 months to recover to an all-time high at that time, above the previous crash. March 2000, we had a 49% drop. 31 months we were in a bear market for. That apparently was some computer glitch that triggered lots of automated selling, and the markets went into meltdown. Hedge funds, pension funds across the globe couldn't get rid of their couldn't get rid of their exposure to risk assets. Dropped 49%. 56 months to get back. 5 years almost to get back. 4.5 years to get back to where it was. But it got back, didn't it? It got back to previous heights. October 2007, the global financial crisis. We've all heard of the global financial crisis, yeah? Global financial crisis spurred by a run on bad debt from banks. And we had the first casualty, Lehman Brothers. I did work for Lehman Brothers between 1995 and 2000, no, a bit later, 1998 to 2002. I was working for Lehman Brothers. So I had nothing to do with that crash either. Thankfully, that saw one of the worst pullbacks in the last 50 years. Well, it was the worst pullback. 56 months, 56% the stock market dropped in October 2007 to 08, and it went on. It took basically 10 years to get back up. Well, it took 4 years to get back to previous heights. 49 months, but it got there. Now, March 2020, this has been caused by coronavirus. Yep, coronavirus, we're seeing a drop of 38% from equity highs to equity lows. Oddly enough, this bear market has lasted just 1 month. We are now, folks, in an official bull market. Bull market basically meaning that the markets have bounced over 20% since the lows to where we are today. I've just come on the screen for a minute ago. I looked at the numbers. 21% we've bounced, or 22% I think it is. 22% we bounced now since the lows of last month. Of course, the biggest question is how long it will take to get back up to 29,500 in the Dow and the S&P 500 up there as well. So how long will it take to get back up there? I don't know. But if history is anything to go by, it will get back up there. It just might take some time. On average, we're looking about 3 to 4 years. With the way that the bear market has turned into a bull market pretty quickly, maybe it's going to be quicker than that. Certainly if Trump's got anything to do with it. Remember, he wants to get elected again this year. Not that he can control the stock market, of course, but that obviously is the question. So if your objective, if you are 50, 40, 30 years old, and you're looking to put money aside for the long-term future, maybe this is not a bad little opportunity. 5-year plan, 10-year plan, this is not investment advice. Okay, it's not investment advice. I'm just telling you, historically we've got back up there, and it's taken time to get up there. But on every occasion in the past, we have done. So if you're looking at putting stuff away now for the future, for the rainy day, for your pension, for your kids' school, for your daughter's wedding, and I've got 3 of them coming up. Well, not coming up, hopefully, another 20 years or so. But maybe this is a good time. So aren't we all oil analysts? Who has been watching what's going on in oil? This is the oil market. I haven't put this screen together. This is, by the way, MT4. Right, oil. Here we go. So this is the oil market. Anyone that's watching oil with us on Monday, it's quite fun. We were in the trading room. Anyone that was here with me, we were in the trading room, and this was the May delivery. I'll see if I can make this bigger. Right, this is a 15-minute chart. Right, let me just make that maybe a 1-hour chart. That's the 1-hour chart in oil. Okay, so on Friday we were trading at around $20 on WTI, West Texan Intermediaries. This is a futures contract, and a futures contract is deliverable by the underlying asset. Is a physical delivery. If you are holding a futures contract at the expiration, you have to take delivery of that physical, and you have to pay the seller the agreed price that you agreed when you bought that futures contract. Now that in itself laid a problem for the oil markets, because I'm now an oil analyst, right? I know everything about oil now. So basically what happened was is that because there's massive overcapacity, because the Russians and the Saudis and OPEC Plus agreed on such a small cut really in reality to what the drop of demand has been since the Covid-19, there's a massive oversupply. And this supply, oil above the ground in those metal drums, those metal barrels, has to be delivered somewhere. And when they're delivered, they have to be held somewhere, stored somewhere. But there's no place to store them. The capacity was full. There's no place to store oil. So no one wanted a boatload of, maybe that's the wrong expression, but no one wanted a cartload of oil delivered on their front doorstep because they got nowhere to store it. So no one wanted to hold the futures contract. So in the last few hours of trading, the futures contract plummeted. In fact, in our trading room at the time, I was streaming at the time. It was 5 p.m. in London time when it was coming out. And we were basically streaming that live. And we were talking about it loud. And I said, okay, I'll give you a Forex Signals t-shirt to the nearest person that calls it. It was trading around $9. It actually dropped about 50% while I was streaming. Trading about $9, and some people were saying $4. Some people said $1. Some were saying 15. It bounced to 15. I was going to give a Forex Signal sheet away. It settled that night at minus 37. Minus 37. No one wanted it. basically you were paying people to take the oil off your hands. You were giving oil away. As I said a moment ago, this bottle of antiseptic hand wash, 70% alcohol, which I might use a little bit that way if it carries on with this lockdown, but this was worth more than a barrel of oil. Amazing. And that's basically what happened to oil prices. I'm now, as you gathered, an analyst. But Brent crude, okay, Brent is Brent is slightly different, okay? It's having a bit of a bounce at the moment. You heard it on the squawk a moment ago. Brent is bouncing off. Brent's also been under the cosh as well. Brent's been coming off, but not to the same degree, because Brent is basically drilled from the sea, the ocean, and it goes straight into tankers, right? And these tankers, although it's expensive to store oil, they can go anywhere in the world. They can go wherever there's a demand for oil, but the capacity hasn't been reached in the tankers, although it's somewhat expensive to hold. So Brent hasn't been affected as much. So Brent at the moment, big drop. We had a big drop, from pretty much last week. We were trading at 35, got down to 22, got down to 15 actually, 15 from 35, whatever that is. Let's have a look. That was a big drop. 50. So that saw a 42% drop from its highs to where it was. That is bouncing up. So oil basically is in the bear market across the board. Now look at Brent. Look at West Texan today, because that contract's expired May. Now we're into the June contract. Okay, and the June contract that got pummeled yesterday. Okay, we were looking at this level here as a holding level actually around the $15. We're looking at that today in the room. It was holding it today. It's just putting it on a bit of a bid now as Mnuchin started speaking. But this oil is the June contract, and the same thing started to happen. Now, I'm not an oil analyst, joking aside, but I don't know what's changed personally from beginning of the week to now. Economies haven't opened up. People aren't flying planes. People aren't driving cars. People aren't expanding in their investment in investment plant. Economies haven't got going yet. There's still more oil above the ground than there should be. OPEC, Russia, Saudi, no one's decided on any further cuts. So all I see is this problem that we had last couple of days ago just being rolled out to the next month. Market doesn't agree with me at the moment. It's pushing on a bit, 14, 15 bucks at the moment. Might get up to 20 by the end of today. Fundamentally, I don't get that. That's why I'm not an oil analyst. There's more intelligent people out there than me on that. But there you go. So all these market movements, they have a natural consequence effect on the currency markets. I want to talk to you about that briefly. It's all to do with risk on, risk off. At the moment, we are seeing markets, when I say risk on, without getting too confusing on this short little stream. If you join me every week, you'll hear me get to talk about this every day, basically. It's all about where the money flows are going. Okay, and the certain currencies perform differently in certain environments. So, for example, when the stock markets are dumping and crashing and falling rapidly, the safe haven currencies, typically currencies like the yen, the Swiss franc, they tend to start getting bid up because they're low yielding funding currencies. Currencies like that, the commodity currencies like the Australian dollar, big exporter of iron ore and copper and pretty much to China around the world. Obviously Canada, big exporter of oil. Maybe the wrong week to talk about that, but Canada, big exporter in oil. And of course, the US dollar. US dollar has been acting as a real good safe haven currency at the moment. As the stock markets are crashing, basically the US dollar saw an inflow of funds into that. And so the currency markets are affected by what's going on in the bigger picture. So yes, indeed, someone just mentioned, is this a good time to be trading Forex? It's a fabulous time to be trading Forex. There's some really good trends developing. And as a trend follower, there's never a better time to be involved in a market that's actually trending. And there are some really good trends going on at the moment. But this is the high time frame stuff. As I said to you a moment ago, I took a short trade this morning with the room here. I don't know what it's doing at the moment in the short Aussie against the Australian dollar. Just having a quick look at that. Must be not doing very much at the moment. This is a trade signal I put out earlier today. Okay, so we're short here at 95.50. It's trading 95. 95.05 at the moment, so a few pips up on that one at the moment. Nothing. 46, 56 pips up at the moment. Yeah, I'm not your holy grail. This one's working at the moment. Might work against us. We did take profits in pound against in the euro against the yen. Yesterday actually, we took 150 pips out of that one. That's on a longer time frame. So trends at the moment looking nice. The market is showing a bit of a risk move appetite going back on. So if you look at the stocks again, stocks are showing a bit of a bid. This is, as I said, the part of the bull market. We've got the stocks pushing up from these highs. So that basically means the currencies like the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, they tend to do quite well. And here's the S&P 500. This one also, showing a bit of a bid as well coming up. This level here, actually, where we are, is about 50% of where the big drop to the low is. So we're at a sort of a crucial level. But at the moment, the market is looking at a bit of a risk on. Blue candle there shows you that the market is seeing asset flows into stocks. That's risk on, yeah? Risk on means yen should come down, means Swiss should come down, the low yielding currencies. These candles all actually mean something, right, folks? These tell us what's going on. I just want to have a quick run through and then we're going to go on to see if there's any live opportunities on the charts. I know some of you have seen my YouTube videos on this, but I want to talk a little bit about these patterns. I'm not going to go too much about what a candlestick means. You understand it basically is it tells you what the high, the low, and the close was in a particular time period. Let me just put that up there. Right. So basically, we're looking for two types of patterns in our pullbacks, basically to give us a clue that a pullback is indeed a pullback, and that the pullback is not going to be a reversal. We look at other criteria as well, but these are quite important little patterns. Okay, so at the moment, this is a bullish engulfing pattern. So this last candle completely engulfs the previous candle. Just to show you briefly what it means the market opened here, traded down a little bit, and then the buyers came in and took the market up, and it closed higher than where it opened. Because it's a blue candle, we know it is a bullish candle. Previous candle, market opened here, the sellers were in control, taking this market all the way down, and it closed back down here. But then the last candle showed a bullish. So when you see these, okay, when you see this little candle there in a downtrend, this bearish candle in a downtrend, I beg your pardon, in an uptrend, because obviously markets are moving as we go. We don't know if it's a pullback. Okay, you see this bearish candle. Is this bearish candle in there? Is it a pullback or is it a reversal? When it's engulfed by the next candle, like there, that's a good indication that this trend wants to continue in the direction from which it came. Bullish engulfer. All right, go and watch my video on this, by the way, in the channel. I know we've almost got 200,000 followers on the YouTube channel. Got quite a few of you listening in today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel now, do it. Yeah, subscribe. And if you haven't hit that bell notification, hit that as well, and then the moment you'll get notified the next one when it comes out. So this is a hi Adrian, good to see you in the room. You're being nosy. Yes, you are, looking all over the place. I know you, Adrian. So this is the bullish engulfer. Now, of course, we've got the bearish engulfing pattern. So this is the bearish engulfer, the same thing. Markets are trending down. Yep, markets are looking. Yeah, moving down, these little pullbacks. Is this pullback? Is this a pullback? Or is it a reversal? Okay. So you see this bullish, you see this, I beg your pardon, this is that's the wrong way around. Sorry, let me do that again. This is an uptrendy market. Okay, we don't know whether this here is a pullback. This bit here is a pullback. Bang, 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 bang. Or is it indeed a reversal? If you see this candle here in there, followed by this bearish candle, that would indicate that this market is going to come back on itself. Indeed, it looks more like a reversal than a trend continuation. This is a bearish engulfing candle. So this we would be avoiding. This type of setup in a uptrend, because it looks as though the bears are in control. Now, of course, if you saw this in a downtrend, that would be an indication that the pullback you saw, this bit of a pullback, would be indeed just a pullback because the bearish candle takes control. That is a trend continuation pattern. So that is the bearish engulfer. Okay, now the other patterns we look for are basically the bullish and bearish pin bars. This basically shows you where there was a trend change in personal human behavior. Markets are closing higher, having tested the lows on the bullish engulfers, bullish pins. The markets here are closing lower, having had a pullback, bearish pins. You see these in the direction of a downtrend. Good indication, yeah, good indication that the market wants to trade lower on a bearish pin bar. Good indication on an uptrend. You see these. Good indication that the market wants to trade high. So we're looking for these now on the lower time frame charts. Let's have a quick look now. We'll give a 15-minute scan around to see if there are indeed any trading opportunities. We're looking for these patterns, and I'm using an array of moving averages on here as well. I'm using what's known as a guppy array of moving averages, and I'm also going to be using my pattern finder. Okay, so basically it's going to help me look for these patterns. Just take that off there. Just wait for the tool to load up. Forex Surfers channel. Yes, indeed. Okay, so this is my pattern finder. Now I previously set this with my anchor chart. All these, when you're following trends, right, you need to make sure that you've got the bigger trend in play. So the bigger trend, the higher time frame trend. So it could be the 4 hour, the 1 hour. If you're drilling down to the lower time frame charts, you want to see the high time frame trend in the direction of your trade. That's trend continuation. So I'm going to be looking here at the 5-minute and the 15-minute. I'm going to be looking for the engulfers and the pin bars just on these particular time frames. I'm not a great fan of trading in 5 minutes because it just takes too much of my time. But I will be certainly seeing if any of them come up. We've got a couple of 15-minute ones in here. I previously set the default on my tool here for my higher time frame chart to be the 1 hour. Okay, now ordinarily if we had more time for this, if you're trading this on your own, I suggest you spend time by going through the higher time frame charts, the hour, possibly the 4 hour, putting in your key levels of support and resistance, even having levels of support and resistance from the daily in there as well. I often say to people, if you want to get your win-loss ratio up when you're trading, just don't trade levels through a daily or 4 hour time period if you're on the lower time frame charts. A big level of support and resistance on the daily. Avoiding those can keep you out of a lot of trouble and indeed improve your risk-reward ratio. Lisa, hi, where is it possible for us to get direct contact with you? Well, you can email us, andrew@forexsignals.com. Andrew@forexsignals.com, or you can hit the link below. You can come over and join us here at Forex Signals and take the free trial. Let me tick these off and see where we're going. Yeah, you can tick the link below. Join us for a free trial at forexsignals.com. You can even use this tool for a week, see if you make some money out of it. Once you understand the rules, I've got the guppy array of moving averages here. So we've got two bands. We've got a fast band and a slow band. These are basically part of a trend surfing strategy. So just if you want to know what these are, these are the 4, 6, 8, 12, 15 and 18 on the fast, and we've got the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 and the 60, which is the red line for the slow ones. So we've just had I just want to look at these New Zealand Swiss come up twice here. I just want to look at New Zealand Swiss on the 15-minute to see what's looking at there. Okay, remember I want to go for the higher time frame chart. This is a bullish pattern. Okay, so it's got this bullish pin bar, and I can see without using too much guesswork, I can see that the trend on the higher time frame chart is most pretty flat. So I'm just going to have a look at the higher time frame chart. So this is the 1 hour here. This is the 15-minute. I'm not in a big trend in here at the moment. This here on the 1 hour doesn't give me confidence of a trend. I want to be trading this type of stuff, the nice trendy markets down, no crisscrossing of the moving averages. all fanning down nicely. So we ain't going to take that one. So I'm just going to knock those out. New Zealand CAD. What was the other 15 minute we had? We had a Euro New Zealand 15 minutes. Let's have a look at that one. Euro, and this is, again, look, this is a bearish signal, not in a downtrend. I don't need to, I can show you, but it's not in a downtrend. By going to the higher time frame chart, we are basically in a bit of an uptrend, if anything. So I'm not going to be taking these. I'm only taking the ones with a higher time frame confirmation. So we'll ignore that one for now as well. We just had a New Zealand. We hadn't looked at that one. New Zealand CAD. What about the New Zealand yen on the 5 minutes? Anything going on there? It's all pretty quiet stuff this afternoon. This is a, well, I mean, I know we're on a live stream and people want action. I mean, I wouldn't take it, to be honest. Again, looking at the higher time frame confirmation by going to the, the 1 hour, which is, we're not really in a downtrend, are we? I mean, the lines aren't crisscrossing, but I don't want to see that. I want to see them all fanning out in a direction on the higher time frame to get in on the lower time frame. So we ain't taking that one yet. Hopefully we'll get something. I mean, we'll keep it going until we do. Well, for a while. Let's have a look at the dollar yen. And chances are we've missed it anyway. That one came in at 10 minutes ago. Let's have a look here. Dollar yen. Someone asked about dollar yen when we were coming on before we came on live, didn't we? By the way, just on the left of the screen, you will see here my risk manager tool. Okay, so this is going to tell me exactly how much I should be trading on each trade, so I don't have to use any guesswork. I'm going to be using a set standard percent on here. Right, okay, sorry, I've just got something coming in from an email there. So I'm only going to be using, look at the risk management tool here, can you see it on my camera in the way? No, there we are. 0.5% risk on this. Okay, it's going to work out all the profit targets and for me as well. So for example, I just put it on now, I'm not going to take this trade. I've got another 2 minutes before the next signals come off, and we've got the 15-minute bell coming up in a couple of minutes as well, so we might get some 15-minute signals. But basically, I would turn my risk management tool on, would help, and I put in my entry line. So the entry line is the yellow line. My stop line is the red line, and my profit target would be the green line. And it works out all the risk reward ratios for me. It works out the lot size for me, ensuring that I only risk 0.5% on the account. And of course, if I want to take that trade, I just hit place the order, which I'm not going to do because it's a counter trend market here. So I'm not going to take that one. But that's basically how the risk management tool. Hopefully we get a chance to use it if the trade comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I can't help that if it doesn't. Not a lot we can do about that. So let's close that down. And we have got about 45 seconds. I'm just going to clear. I'll clear them off in a second, actually. Just have a quick look at the chat. See, we've got a few members coming in from the Forex Signals community. Sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I should be streaming. Well, I don't stream this time normally. Max is normally on around now. I will be on in about an hour and 20 minutes back in the room. So if you want to say hello over there, I'll see you back in there. I see we've got a few Forex Signals members in the room here. We've got VJs in the room. Andrew, your charts look beautiful. I know, mate, but that doesn't make me a beautiful trader. I'm not bad, but there we go. Let's see what comes up. Right, we've got a pound-dollar 5 minute coming up. Pound-dollar 5 minutes just come up. Really? Let's have a look at pound-dollar. I tend to hope that's a sell, but here we go. Let's have a look. Pound-dollar. It is a sell, but higher. Look at the trend today. Okay, these are the last 5 minute candles. So just have a quick look at the higher time frame chart, the hourly chart. I mean, again, I could take the trade for the sake of the stream, but I don't believe in taking trades just for the sake of it. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles on the hourly chart, all showing strength. That's why you're seeing the guppy array here pushing back up. So I'm not going to take the trade. you've got a bearish engulfer here, okay, into the array of moving averages, but I'm not confident in the bigger time frame trend to take that. And equally, I would be having, I would be looking at the higher time frame here, and beg pardon, 4-hour time frame here, and saying we've got support coming in, so it wouldn't take that trade on that. Okay, so we're not taking that little puppy today. And I've now closed down the blooming chart. So let me just reload that chart up before the next 5 minute comes up. And I need to do that by taking my screen off. Otherwise you're going to see, unfortunately, which I can't have, you're going to see my username and password. I don't know what's going to happen if I do that. There'll be people coming in, trying to log in as Andrew Lockwood and causing mayhem. All sorts of mayhem. So I'm just, what I'm doing now, folks, I'm just loading up the tool again. Which I shouldn't have closed down, unfortunately, but there you go. That is live TV. What is my password? Do you know, passwords, I do hate passwords. I've got so many different passwords.
US President Trump mentioned that the director of the CDC has been misquoted by CNN. Says he will be visiting.
Trump's fighting CNN this afternoon. Oh, what a surprise.
Meanwhile, CNBC reporting via their news channel, the FHFA are to begin buying mortgages they're in forbearance.
Right, here we go. Hopefully this will load up now. We'll get back to the live charts before the next candle comes up. And there you go. So I'm going to look at the 5 minute and the 15 minute. You can do this on a 1 minute chart as well if you're that desperate for the excitement. I don't trade for 1 minute charts, way too old for that stuff. How does traders still use MT4? Yeah, I know. How much does traders use still MT4? Yeah, a lot of them. We've migrated a lot of our trading tools into MT5. Oops, we're going to turn the thing on. Hang on. Activate scanning. Yeah, we saw that. The pound dollar engulfer 5 minute. No, we're not taking that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people, MT4 has its benefits, it has its advantages, but also has its limitations. But I say to a lot of people that come into the trading room with us for the first time, people say, "Why are you using the MT4?" The trading platform isn't going to define you as a trader, is what I'm saying. If you've got what it takes to become a trader, which is discipline, control of your emotion, the ability to follow simple rules, then it doesn't matter what trading platform you're using, quite frankly. I know people think it looks great to have all the flashy ones and the bells and whistles and all that, but you either have the trading ability or you don't. If you don't, you can learn it. We teach it. I teach it. I hold hands for people to try and get them to think the way of a trader. After 30 years, I think I've got an idea of what traders think like, what traders should think like, anyway. The platform won't make a hoot, quite honestly. Why I ask is I don't have trading viewers yet. Yeah, I'm looking at trading view. Oh, here we go. What we got here? New Zealand CAD for 5 minutes. No 15 minutes yet. Maybe we'll wait for the next 15-minute candle at the bottom of the hour to see if anything's coming up. New Zealand CAD. No. That is... Oh, bearish... Here we go. Bearish pin. Bearish pin. Let me just have a look at the higher time frame chart. Well, we're coming back down here now. My next level of support will be down there. I think we can potentially have a look at that bearish pin. So let's just turn on my risk manager. Oh, I don't want to do 0.1%, do I? 0.5%. Nope, don't want that one. Market's running away from me, is it? No, it's pulling back into the array. Did it pull back into the array? Yes, it did on this chart here. Okay, so 0.5%. 5%. My profit target is going to be down here. I'm going to put my stop, more importantly, above the 60 EMA, up there at 84.53. Okay. My profit target, my first profit target is going to be down there at least 1 to 1. So I like to use above my 60 EMA here, or a 2 ATR. The ATR here is around 8 pips at the moment. This is going to be about 20 pips stop. You can must close that in. Okay, I like to use a 2 ATR, but no more than a 60 pip, no more than a 60 moving average. So I'm just going to take that trade now. This gives me about a 1.6 to 1.6 to 1 risk reward ratio. So I'm going to be taking that short trade for trend continuation, New Zealand CAD to the downside. It's a 5-minute chart. There you go. What could it do? So my maximum risk is just 0.5% on this account, which is about $100. And we'll see how that one plays out. You will maybe be watching that one after the stream, because I'm going to be jumping off just after the next 30 minutes past the hour. Okay, so there we are. New Zealand CAD short. Peter Nasri says pound dollar. Yeah, talking about how the market can see everyone's position. Tell the truth. Julia Parno. Very important. Andrew is planning to take profit 2 into it. Yes, I am, Julia. I don't know how you know that. Julia, correct. I have got, yep, it's in with my developers at the moment, and we're putting out 2 profit targets as well. You know, you see from the video in YouTube that you hopefully have subscribed to and watched in the past, trend following. Simple scalping strategy. Yeah, so we trail. So we'll trail once we take profit targets in TP1. We'll trail behind. Allows you to participate in those trends that really do want to fly. And when you get those right, they can be the game changer for your trading account for the day or week or what have you. Dara says, what EMAs are you using on the TFS? These guppy arrays are the 2, 4, 6, 8. I always have to remind myself of these. These are the 4, 6, 8, 12, 15, and 18. It's called the. If you Google guppy EMA, I think it comes up basically by some bloke a long time ago. Just a nice sort of array that we use. 4, 6, 8, 12, 15, 18, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. How we avail. It's not a trading EA, Peter, in terms of doing the trades for you. You've got to do more work than just doing that. I mean, if you've got to be looking at support and resistance. You've got to be looking at, you don't place the trades. You can't just plug this in and leave it. I've never seen an expert advisor in EA that has been able to do that. To be honest, I've never seen it. If there were such a thing, I don't think there would be a national debt of Venezuela. They'd just be buying an EA and plugging that into the central bank. Maybe I'm being a little bit too basic about it, but this is basically a tool that we use. It is, it's an EA in terms of a tool. It just gives me a helping hand in my risk and, of course, in my signals. But you don't take them blindly, of course. Look for support and resistance. Look for the higher time frame trend. You don't want to be trading this into a massive daily level of support or resistance. You need to do a little bit of work. We teach all this anyway. But how do you avail it? Oh yeah, sorry Peter. Yeah, come over to the room, forexsignals.com. Join us up down there. You can talk to me personally. I'm in there all day long, chatting and commenting and putting out the odd signal. And what's the pound Aussie doing, by the way? Pound Aussie ain't doing very much, is it? Pound Aussie, let's have a look. No, not doing much. Oh, it's pulling back a little bit from. Oh, still in the trade. Pulling back now a little bit in the last hour or so. Yeah, come and join us. You don't have to pay if you don't want to stay. Carlos, wow! Can't wait to see you in the trading room again. This year's session. Ultra inspired. What about the M and W pattern? Double top, double bottoms. Yeah, I mean, you want to be avoiding. You want to be avoiding, support and resistance. You might see it at the M and the W, I guess. So yeah, you don't take them blindly. Neil Garbett, you normally on your phone. I tell you what, folks, if you're doing it on your phone, you're not. Sorry, I forgot. I'm not streaming to the room. But we are going to be launching an app very soon. An app so you can join in we'll have all the bells and whistles of Forex signals if you come over. So you'll be able to do all that on your cell phone. Because everyone's using cell phones, aren't they? Today, I don't know. I've always been a little bit anti-trading from a phone. I don't mind trading from a phone, but I don't know if someone saw my video about when you're trading, you shouldn't be putting too much emphasis, easy for me to say, on one particular trade. I've seen many people out there always looking at their phones, what their trade's doing. One trade should be irrelevant to the big picture. Times are changing, of course. People are using their phones more so. We've got about 3 minutes before we close this out. What have we got here? We've got got a couple of minutes, 3 minutes to go. New Zealand CAD still trading lower. Must be not a bad little trade that. We'll see. Just trading lower now, 10 pips up. What broker do you suggest for micro-lots? I'm not really here to recommend brokers, to be honest. Check them out. We use IC markets on raw spreads, really tight spreads as well. I don't have I think check them out. We use IC markets, but you can use whatever you wish. New Zealand CAD. Neil has placed a trade in the New Zealand CAD on his iPhone. Come on, Neil. Let's get this down. All right, couple of minutes to go. We'll see if anything pops up. If it doesn't, I'll see you next week, I guess. Or you can see you in the trading room. Talk about how markets can see every position. Just having a look at the chat here. I don't know whether my girls in the background working very well. If you are, thanks very much. But I haven't seen any nasty people in here today. This YouTube thing always gets a few nasty little people in there, don't they? You're just a fake! Without even knowing anything about me. I shouldn't encourage it, but it does make fun sometimes. I got one, I'll tell you one. I actually took a screenshot of it once. Because my daughters find it quite amusing. When they go to school, they love telling their parents, or their teachers, that I'm their parent, love telling their teachers that their daddy's a YouTuber. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a trader. But anyway, I'm a YouTuber. But one of them said, one of these comments was, I was wearing a pink shirt, and this comment was, let me just remember it. It goes, mate, you spend so much time making these videos, you should spend more time on your body. All I can see is a short little fat man in a pink shirt. Oh, how nice is that? Thanks very much. Good luck with your trading career. Oh dear. Does make me laugh sometimes. There you are. Right, we got a couple of seconds, see if what comes up. Anything pops up, we'll see if we've got any opportunities arising. Here we go, a couple of seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll be a bit delayed. Let me close them down. New Zealand CAD, I just should have had that screen up. Let's have a look. Here we go. So we've got Swiss yen 5-minute pin. And we are not taking that. That is a bearish pin in an uptrending market. So I'm not taking that little puppy. So nothing there. Surprising. Well, not surprising. 15 minutes just turned around. Nothing showed there. Right, folks. I do ignore them, Joe. I do. Well, I don't ignore them. I comment to all my YouTube followers. You guys that follow me here on YouTube, I thank you all. You guys are the ones that, this is my, I got this because of you guys. 1,000 followers, almost up to 200,000 now. Yeah, up to 200,000. So thank you for that. Get me up to 200,000. There you are. Here's another thing. Look, so this is my birthday a couple of weeks ago. And my 9-year-old made me this birthday card, which I thought was quite sweet. It's all about me on YouTube. Here's me. That's me on YouTube. There you go. See that? How to be handsome like Andrew Lockwood. She's given me 4,109 views. Learn to become famous in under 2 days. That's got 62,000 views. How to start trading Forex. 341,000 views. Priceless. Right, folks, I really enjoyed your company today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm still short New Zealand CAD on a 5-minute chart. Not going to do me much damage in that trade. Even if I get stopped out, we'll see how it goes. If you want to come and join us, links below, I believe. Forex Signals, come over, say hi. If you do come over from here, by the way, say hello that you come in from today's live event, just so I can roll out the red carpet for you and say hello. Yeah, you try it out. You try these tools out. Other tools as well, showing you strength, weakness, showing you the risk management as well, and the new tools coming out as well. So thanks everyone, okay, for tuning in. We'll see you next week if I don't see you in the room this week. So until then, happy trading, safe trading, but above all, stay safe. Observe the local rules that you've been told by your authorities, because we all want to get through this, come out the other side, and look back on this period of our time saying, when was that Covid-19? Was it 2020 or was it 2019? Was it 21? Let it become a distant memory, as quick as possible. Till next week, guys. See you then.